Hey there, it's Kylie Menz here from mylifestyleshow.tv and welcome to today's inspirational video. I'm sharing lots of tips and tools over this month to help you get started in your business and thinking a bit bigger. And today I hear this a lot with women entrepreneurs I talk to a lot of the times who are thinking about starting their business or want to upscale their business with their revenue and they don't know how. And it's about sometimes how do you feel credible when you're just getting started? I guess in a way I want to share with you a technique that I learned recently because it got me thinking about when I talk to a lot of women entrepreneurs, and this was a classic example. I met a lovely lady at an event on the weekend, and she's got 15 years marketing experience. Like, that's been her whole passion, and she wants to start her own business around marketing. And I was like, well, yeah, that's what you've done for 15 years. And yet she never felt credible. She didn't feel experienced enough. She said, how could I possibly start my business? I just don't know what I'm doing. And I went, but you've been doing it for 15 years. And we ended up having a bit of an in-depth chat, some of the things that she could do. And I go into a lot more of that in my group. I share more how to and how to do things in my group so that you can start to move forward. But I just want to share with you a quick technique I learned recently, and it was really valuable. It got me thinking a lot from a lady called Kelly from America, who's a highly successful business coach. And she was sharing a really simple technique she uses to get people started. And that's what she calls make an accomplishment list. So if you're looking at getting started in something and you're a bit nervous, maybe you don't feel like you're credible enough or don't have the right experience or the to get started, then write down a accomplishment list and go right back and just literally journal everything that you've done, and go right back to school even. Go back to the fact that you graduated, go back to, did you win best at a sports day or whatever it is that you've accomplished. Like, one of my big ones is I traveled the world. I got out of my home country town of 2,000 people and now I'm living in London and millions of people. Look at the accomplishments and the things that you've achieved in your life and go back and write it down. Because what happens is when you look at that list, you start to get a visual, and we are very visual creatures, is if you can look at something visually, you're more likely to believe it, to feel it, to see it, and especially if you're writing it down at the same time. So go back and write down a bit of a timeline, really. Start to kind of journal if you want to go backwards or forwards, whichever works for you. But look at your accomplishments over the times. Did you win an award for something? Have you been highly successful maybe in a job that you've had? Or, did you get promoted? Did you achieve a top target in something that you were doing? Whatever it might be. Did you paint the best picture you've ever painted? If you're a creator or creative, when was the last time that you just painted that most amazing or created that amazing sculpture that you wanted to do? So look at your accomplishment, because when you get it visually, you download it out of your head. So I've become a massive journaler at the moment. Two of my mentors I was working with told me to start journaling every day and just writing stuff down, because as I write stuff, I brain dump it. It clears your head. It gets you out of your head. So when you get it down on paper, you not only visually see how amazing you are and all the achievements you've had, and of course you can do anything because you've done so much already. The next step is just the next step, whatever it is you want to achieve. And I'm like Kelly was. I don't believe in failure. I believe in everything that happens in your life. I guess I take this flippantly, happens for a reason. That's not kind of right wording slightly for me, but I believe that there's choices and paths you can choose definitely to go on, but I do believe that you're meant to get a learning experience from everything that you do. So see it as a learning experience. If you failed at something or you feel like you failed, turn it around and go, what have you learned from it? What did you get out of it? What was the challenge in it? Did you become a stronger person from going through that? If you lost all your money or you've got into debt, what is it that you need to learn about it? Do you need to learn the value of finance? Do you learn to believe in that you can support yourself? What is it? What lesson did you learn out of it? And how can you then apply that moving forward? So think about every part of your journey as an experience. So A lot of people know my husband cheated on me when I was young. He left me for someone else, and I personally don't talk about it that much. But, you know, for me, it was at the time, obviously, you know, we all go through, it was devastating. I was crushed. It was my husband, and, you know, but I was only young. But when I look now and I look back, it's amazing, because that journey that he took me on of finding myself, of exploring, I started traveling. I'd never been out the country. You know, I would never have achieved the things that I've achieved if that didn't happen to me then when I was younger. So, you know, I see it as a bit of a stepping stone, really. And maybe that feels cold to some people that still feel bitter about their exes. I don't. I see it as, oh my God, he opened up so many opportunities to me that I didn't even know I had. And yeah, of course, we'll go through the pain at the time, but I try and learn from stuff, learn from things that have happened. You know, and, you know, I don't share some of the really big shifts that I've had when I was younger that got me to start to travel the world, to got me to kind of break free of the norm at the time. You know, I grew up in very small country towns where the norm was you grow up, you get married, you have kids, and you stay in the town. And it was like, oh my God, I could think of nothing worse. And it's no disrespect to my friends that have, they're happy and they love it. But for me, they're apparently, and it's really funny, that a lot of the younger kids that knew me earlier said that we always knew you'd do something different. And see, things happen. Like for me, I had to go through that breakup for me to find me and do something different with my life. And that's traveling. You know, I've lived in now London for 10 years. I travel the world. You know, I'm doing so much more with my life. And I don't think if I'd got into that routine of what they had, would I have been satisfied? Probably not. And so things do happen. And so when you're looking at, I guess, credibility, and we talk about the word self-worth a lot, because actually as women entrepreneurs, we find when people are struggling with credibility, or they're struggling with, you know, feeling like they don't have that degree, or they should do that extra training course before they can go and help people, it's generally because they don't believe they're worth it. So when you start to look at your accomplishments, you start to realize how much you're worth. You know, how much have you changed? How much have you grown? How much have you given back over the years? And also this goes into a pricing thing as well, is when you're starting to price, or you're starting to charge for your services. And I know, because I've just been going through this exact same thing for myself, is looking at the I guess what Kelly called it was your disconnect. So for me, I was just getting started in coaching. I've never coached before. But yeah, I've ran big teams. Obviously, you're coaching really daily. When you're running big sales teams, you're coaching on a daily basis, because you're coaching their motivation, their commitment. You're asking them questions of how they can do their job better. So actually, I've probably been coaching for 10 years, but I hadn't put a coaching title on it. So I didn't feel I was worth to be able to charge for coaching. But actually I have, and I've grown teams online as well. But it's the disconnect. So now if I suddenly charged, say, 10 grand an hour for my coaching, I couldn't justify that. I wouldn't feel that connection between what I was charging and what I felt I could bring value to yet. And this is going to grow and change as you grow and change as well. So it's about creating. So like, yeah, I wouldn't want to charge $40 an hour, because I think, no, I know I'm worth more than that. You know, maybe 100 for an hour or something like that, or 200. So start to think about your hourly rate, what you feel comfortable with, or what value you're bringing is all about pricing. So we get a lot of pricing questions where people going, well, how do I price it? What do I price it? And you've got to come up with that, because you've got to, yes, there's obviously what maybe other people are doing, but I encourage you strongly not to compare yourself with what other people are doing. Really, it's about setting the value you feel comfortable with, because you can come in at a completely different level to someone else, and then you'll go, oh, but I'm not charging that and they are, and you end up in this disconnect with, again, how you're feeling. So look at your self-worth, and if you're worried about credibility, start to think about your accomplishments. Write down what you've done. And if you really feel like, especially if you're starting maybe a coaching business or something like that, and you really feel that you haven't done it, you haven't got the experience, do what one of the other girls did. She gave away her first 50 coaching sessions for free to people that she knew, that she already connected with her, because then she knew after doing 50 sessions, that was her figure. She felt comfortable charging. because she felt like she'd done it, she'd fine-tuned it, she'd checked it, she'd got some results out of it, she'd obviously got some awesome testimonials. I don't know whether 50 for me, I think I would be starting to charge a lot before that. But as I'm trying a new VIP strategy day, I'm probably going to give away 1 or 2 and then charge for it. So start to think about that as well as a process, is how can you, I guess, and I have to quote Kelly on this because her saying was perfect. It was action creates momentum, momentum creates confidence. So no matter what you want to do or what you feel like you're worth or what you want to achieve, get started, test it out, try it, get some feedback, gain momentum around it. Because once you see momentum, like you said, if you do maybe 5 free sessions of something, or you do 5 at 50, then you'll start to see your value, your worth, and that will then create confidence in what you're doing and what you're bringing to the table. So hopefully that's helped. I want you to really think about your credibility. Get over the fact that you think you don't know enough. Like that poor girl with marketing, like I couldn't believe she hadn't started her own business, like 15 years experience in what she loves, and she was so passionate about it. You could see it. Is just do it. Break that fear, break that pattern, and start writing your list today of all the things that you've achieved. So it's Kylie Menz here from mylifestyleshow.tv. If you want to get more tips, techniques, methods and strategy as well, because we go into lots of practical things as well, join my group. It's called Lifestyle Business Creators, Lifestyle Biz Creators. There's going to be a link below this video. And sorry guys, but it's really fun. Successful women entrepreneurs who either really want to break out of that corporate 9-to-5 like I did and get started creating a true business they love, or it's for the women that are in business and are struggling. They're trading their time for money and they want to upscale. They want to use the internet to upscale their business now and grow that, either that passive income or just grow, even to share their message with much more people than they are now. So it's Lifestyle Biz Creators. It's Kylie Menz here from mylifestyleshow.tv, and I look forward to working with you in the future. Cheers for now. Bye.